This video will briefly talk about how to export a drawing in Onshape and then how to work within MakerBotCloudPrint to actually print out your object. So here I have a part that I want to make. Notice there are two parts here. So if I have two parts and I want them both to get exported, I'm going to hold my control button, click on one, highlight, make sure they're both highlighted. Right click, export, name it something. It's called a challenge cube. We want the format to be STL. This is all fine. Medium, hit export. And if you don't change anything, it'll go to your downloads. If I click on my file explorer down here, over here, I find downloads. There's a number of ways you can do this, but I want downloads. And there is where my cube is. It's in my downloads folder. So the file is now on my computer. Once you have that file actually on your computer, you can go into the MakerBot CloudPrint environment. And so once you have logged into MakerBot CloudPrint, this is what it should look like. And you've got two main areas you got to work with: workspace management and print preparation. Okay. In workspace management, by the way, this is what you should be seeing. At our class, I wrote one, and I'm scrolling down, 2, 3, 4 different printers that are available. We have two that aren't working right now. Let's say you're in workspace management, you don't see these guys. It could be that you're in jobs or workspace members. Make sure you go back to workspace printers. So these are my four possible printers to pick from, and they have names: 7760, 9794, My Sketch Large, Large Sketch. Now I can go over print preparation, and I'm like, okay, what is this? This is nothing that I want. It says Purge Tower over here. That's the name of the file. But this doesn't make a lot of sense. It's because up here, we have to choose the printer we want. Right now it's Method X. This isn't even one of our printers. We can't do this. I click on that Method X, and it should, at the top of this list, show me my printers. By the way, you might not see that because it's possible that it could be scrolled down here. Make sure you scroll up. These are my four available printers. So I'm going to select one, 7760. Now, once I have this printer selected, I can then take the file that I have on my computer. So I'm going to open up this, and let's say it was on desktop. I go to downloads. I find my STL file. You can see it says .stl. And let's make this a little bit smaller. I can do one of two things. I can pull this over there, or I could put it right on the machine itself, or at least the simulation of the machine. There's actually a third way to do it, but I put it there, and notice it's really, really small. You know, it looks like something's connected. If you see these red, blue dots, it means you've got something, but it's really small right now. So the next thing we're going to show you is how to increase or decrease scale. So with our existing settings in Onshape, things are always going to import at a very small size. So the first thing we're going to look at that you can do is this tool over here, which is scale. Okay, that's what it looks like. Click on it, and this pops up. And we have an X, a sideways, a Y, as sort of depth, and a Z, which is height. And we can change scale on an absolute level with the number of millimeters, or, and I like to do this better, with using the percents. Now, I'm going to take this 100 and change it to 200. So we double the size. And great. Notice, by the way, when I change that 200, all three axes increased at the same rate. That's because over here, uniform scale is selected. If I click on that, now it is not uniform. If I change one, only the one axis will change in size, not all three. But for now, I'm going to keep this at uniform scale, so reselect it. So 200% didn't do much, did it? So let's try 1,000. Okay. To be honest with you, this is about the size that I would like most of your projects to be. But let's try 5,000. All right. Fine. We increased the size. Notice models outset from rafts not wholly contained within the build volume, and that means this won't print. We need to make it small enough to fit in the space that we have available, and this one is not going to do that. So I'm going to change this back to 2,000. All right, great. That, remember, was the scale tool. We also have the move tool. I'll click on that. This will say I can just grab this and move it around. Okay. I was hoping that I could, oh yeah, and notice we got like a red line, a green line, and it's hard to see the other one, but I'm going to grab this one and see if I can move it back and forth that way. See the red line? Move it back and forth that way. So you can move these in different directions. So for now, let's move it all the way over to the front. All right. And that's where it's actually going to print it on the real machine. Rotate, we can spin it. It is what it says it is. Let's just use the plus sign. You can see that right now when I'm over this blue circle pops up. Okay, so that's showing me this is going to spin that in the horizontal axis. So, okay, if I go over here, now the green wheel or cylinder pops up, and that's going to flip this like in the vertical axis. Okay, enough playing around with that. You can do that on your own. Place face on build plate, especially after you move your part around. You need to make sure you do this as the last thing. This is going to make sure that it's sitting on the flat space. Now this is I don't like this because I'm going to be sitting at the point of the thing is going to be sitting on the base, and this might not print well, but at least now it's touching that base. And by the way, I somehow deselected it. Notice we don't see that blue and red stuff, so I'm going to grab it again. And let's go to center model on build plate. This is going to put it to the middle. Great. Smart orient. This is, I guess, worth doing. It says what it does. Reorient a selected model to use the least amount of support material. Great. And smart arrange. Okay. So now be ready to go. I'm going to go back to move. Actually, no, we'll just go there. Fine. Once it's ready, you want to go to Workspace Management. Notice I'm in 7760. Go to Workspace Management. Scroll down. There's 7760. Make sure it's idle, that there's nothing in it that is, and we can see the build plate. Nothing's there already. Go to Print Preparation. You can hit Print Preview, or you can just hit Print. Later on, you can change these things over here, these settings. For example, support type. Right now, I'll scroll down. The base layer is what's called a raft, and support type is breakaway. So this will put additional material on the outside of the part to make sure it doesn't sort of collapse while it's going. Especially with flimsy things, this is a really good idea. But for mine, I'm changing that to none. Okay. And the base layer raft, I guess I'll leave it like that. Why not? And but I can hit print. After I hit print, it's going to do something called slicing. And once you see that it's in queue, we go back to Workspace Management. And It says confirm build plates clear, which means you should go look at the machine and make sure there's nothing else about the print there. And you're going to say go ahead and start print. And the rest should work on its own. So there you go. That's how you use MakerBot CloudPrint.